Citadel is also Chicago, so I don't know if this is connected to Citadel. But yeah, we see this bank collapse as we enter 2026. Now this is end of January. It's very interesting how we saw a collapse 2 years ago. That was like, I think, but that was more related to maybe crypto. There's like a Silicon Valley Bank, and then First Republic, and there's another one that is related to crypto. I forgot the bank name. But yeah, this one is in Chicago. It looks like a independent bank or something, yeah. So I don't know if the Ken Griffin, maybe Citadel, they kind of let this first small bank collapse, and maybe the major one will hit. I think it's somewhere between April to May. If it's longer, maybe possibly September, because I think we're gonna see a major collapse. We are seeing in Bitcoin as well. I'm not. I think it's here. I think maybe Bitcoin will. I don't think we are here yet because the chart doesn't look like it. But I think it's like somewhere here right now, the Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean it is, and the JP Morgan had a major short positions in Bitcoin, so you know what they're doing. Oh, hold on one second. Oh, so they already kind of came. The RSI actually dropped here. Oh, so it's like here, maybe. Yeah, I think it's here. This one. It might be based on RSI. It looks like it's somewhere here. So we might, because this is kind of like a little bit longer version of this, right? More stretched out version of 2021. So we might see some sort of a bounce back from Bitcoin before collapse starting in April, May, and this is when the whole GME basket, meme stock squeeze phase is gonna be a big one, guys. Very big. And anyway, the first bank collapse. And another thing is interesting thing is the available. We're all found out that he went on the Epstein library, right? So this is government website, /Epstein, and he searched GME, GameStop, and Bed Bath Beyond, and then it looks like they are somewhat. There's some data showing up. There's a bunch of data sets, and then yeah. So I don't know if this is connected to some sort of a naked shorts and stuff, or it's just a part of the data. But yeah, it's a kind of interesting how there's a GameStop. Maybe it's like just I don't know, but yeah, it's quite interesting. So I'll pull it out. As you guys saw, there's a lot of CNBC News and Wall Street Journal. They talk about Ryan Cohen's plan, he's eyeing major acquisitions, and then he's finally admitting that it's coming. PP Show commented on this one. He reposted this one. A CNBC journalist released this new Ryan Cohen interview that has reported on BBYQ bankruptcy in the past. That's very interesting. Gabrielle, CNBC retail reporter, and she talks about Bed Bath Beyond and stuff like that before, and Ryan Cohen chooses to talk to her, and that's interesting, right? Maybe it is a sign, maybe, right? Yeah, like based on how Ryan Cohen kind of moves, he doesn't just pick a random person, right? He chooses a person that he feels maybe comfortable talking to somebody, right? So and then and then it kind of says it like she's a retail reporter, so maybe she kind of focus on the retail side, and then maybe that makes sense, right? Ryan Cohen says it's gonna be very, very big, really big, very, very big, right? It's transformational. So that's kind of what Warren Kitty kind of has been kind of talking about. How GME, he's waiting for that time, and not just GME, but ultimately within a capital market, this is something really never, really has never done before within history of capital market. So he's gonna bring something that is very unique. It is possibly as I kind of not I only but this whole BBYQ major DD writer kind of mentioned that we're gonna see a reverse merger, butterfly transaction, all those kind of stuff will I think come into the play between GameStop and BBYQ. Potential to make GameStop worth several $100 billion. That's a lot of money, right? So it's not going to be just GameStop, but there has to be a company acquisitions and mergers, right? And on top of that, there's going to be a there's a good examples. I actually have it here. Teddy, right? So we've seen Teddy. Oh, sorry, my voice is cracking. It's early in the morning, right? So this is kind of what the community has been kind of speculating on, right? There's gonna be GameStop, there's gonna be Chewy, Toys R Us, Overstock, Sears, Bed Bath Beyond, BBYQ, Bye Bye Baby, which is what Ryan Cohen wanted, Lego, right? In order to win the naked short battle number 6, you gotta do merger and spin-off. And number 10, nuclear options, which what GameStop is typically doing. Teddy, this is kind of what BBYQ shareholders kind of has been waiting for. Teddy trademarks was created back in 2022. And then there's a furnitures, picture frames, pillows, towels, Bed Bath Beyond, what they sell, right? Bed blankets, bed sheets. Teddy is a holding company, buys and builds great businesses. Teddy Roosevelt, GameStop posted. Teddy Roosevelt, Halloween costume, Bed Bath Beyond posted. After they went to chapter 11. This is kind of the roadmap that I think Ryan Cohen wanted to go, and this is kind of part of the speculation. But if this happened, is gonna market cap will go to like 100 billions for sure. It's easy. So we got the Rite Aid, Chewy, the Toys R Us, Bye Bye Baby, all that kind of stuff, Lego. People mention about Alibaba, but I don't know. I mean, I know Ryan Cohen has a stake in it. I don't know how Ryan Cohen will connect with Alibaba, but that DD hasn't been really, I don't know much about that. But GameStop, Blockbuster, all this kind of stuff. So you want to make a whole retail side of the traditional retail side of it, and then turn that into more e-commerce and something that work for the current market and current generation. But anyway, you guys already know what's going on. U.S. government shutdowns coming, and Michael Burry, right? He mentioned about this tweet, and then this. Let's jump onto GME chart for a bit. So this is kind of what let's bring my chart back here. So this is what I posted right back in Jan 20. As you see, there's a time here. 1:20 p.m. right? So this is, I post this one basically 3 hours, roughly 2-3 hours before Ryan Coin dropped 13D, right? And then how do I know it? It's based on this fractal, right? As based on this fractal, I realized that GameStop is tracking the final bottom, going through accumulations, but accumulation was a lot bigger than I expected, and the accumulation was about almost 7 to 8 times bigger than April last year, 2024. And that's the fractal I got. I stretch it out, and we are going to in the same direction now. So we saw Ryan Quinn 13D filing happen, pushes up, and then we saw Michael Burry tweets, Michael Burry posts happen, create this kind of 1, 2, 3 third waves, and we saw a pullback, recent pullback, sharp pullback there. And now we saw a bounce back right away. So that's the similar fractal that we are kind of drawing. And what's next, right? So that's another important thing. And I want to talk about today that I know there's option traders out there, and there's a new there's a new people, right? There's people who are getting into options recently. Maybe they're new to this. As we are heading into squeeze phase, we are heading into much more very severe the price volatility here. So when the price moved 10%, maybe next day price will drop 5%. The in terms of options price, there's going to be a lot of volatility there. You just have to know when to take profits, and then when you see pullback coming, and there's also a theta decay. So you also want to be aware of that. Once you are option past Monday, Tuesday, especially this is something options for that is much more close to expiration day. Once you pass Tuesday, when you're heading into Wednesday, Thursday, your option value will drop significantly, right? So I think the decision has to be made, especially Monday, Tuesday, right? When this is only for the people who have options much more close to expiration day. So yeah, that's something that I wanted to kind of mention. And also I expect there will be some sort of a major pullback, right? It's not like major, but we're gonna see a pullback. So I just want to throw it out there that I know there's a lot of hype going on, and it is good, right? We are actually seeing finally a news drop, positive news, just like boom, 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 and there's a lot of hype. But this is good, but as an option trader, if you're especially trading options, I think you have to be really, really careful when to sell, when to buy. Let's say you have a April call options, right? For example, and this is not finance price, but if this is the way that Ryan Quinn wants to run, April call option, like basically they're gonna destroy the April call options here, right? It's gonna move up, and then you'll get excited. April call option is going up, and then when there's pullback happen here, April call option will be destroyed with a theta decay, and then they're gonna run it. So you just have to kind of trust your gut feeling. I'm not gut feeling, but you gotta do do some TA, know when to get out, know when to buy in. I think maybe they will increase your profit, maximize the profit. Anyway, it's hard to track, but anyway, it's better to get a longer theta decay as well, how Roaring Kitty also did, right? I saw there's a Roaring Kitty post before that he's not only just kind of do a longer term, long term call option play, but he also has a lot of short term play as a swing. So I think this is a perfect for him. I think he's making a lot of money right now. Just go in and out. But also as Lauren Kitty mentioned about the recall, we might see a possibility of the squeeze phase kicks in around end of May. I'll say more like end of May, because right now the way it's playing right now is like everything is just run after OPEX, which means that they're gonna making it even bigger, right? That's what happened back in 2021 January, because the squeeze happened seven-day trading, 7 trading days after, right, OPEX week, right? It's the January OPEX week in 2021. So I think they want to blow this up. So that's what we're seeing. After January OPEX week, we start to see a run. And I think we're gonna have some pullback here. It's not gonna just go squeeze right away. So we might see some sort of a 12% up to 15% drop. And then this is a place where your option will be destroyed with a time decay, right? This pullback probably be about a month. And it is good time to accumulate, actually, but at the same time, just be careful. After we see some sort of a short-term rally, I expect some sort of a pullback in by Feb OPEX, and then somewhere between Feb OPEX to March OPEX. So that's for about a month. But let's take a look at what happened, because actually I was actually surprised that so GME kind of stopped. Maybe this is better to look at this with this one. So GME end with 4.6%, but all of a sudden after hours, I didn't check after hours, but after work I checked, and then it already went up like freaking like 4%. I was like, what's going on, right? And then we saw another CNBC news drop, right? And Ryan Cohen will be appearing on Market Money, Making Money, this Monday, right? So how he's gonna discuss about his plan, how to make $100 billion with Charles Payne. What was the news? Yeah, this is the news drop. Maybe this dropped in the morning. This is afternoon. Yeah, there was a news drop. Actually, it's funny because the Metropolitan Capital Bank collapse, and this news drop at 4 p.m. And as the bank collapsed, GameStop shares actually surge. That's really interesting. That's very interesting. 4 p.m. So I think maybe before they shut down, I think they got margin call or something, This is 2 p.m. This will be 4. There should be I think there was another one, but I think that's maybe a possibility, right? This one, this one just came out. This one came out 2 p.m. yesterday. So I don't know if it is actually. I think it's bank collapse stuff, man. Yeah, this one I think is related because this one dropped 4 p.m. after market close, and we saw surge. So I think this failed bank is somewhat connected to GameStop. Yeah, I don't think it's a news for this time. The after hours rally, But anyway, so we saw this pop, and then that's kind of what I expected. So if I go back to check, my fractal before I share this thing. Where did I think I dropped somewhere here. Yeah, here. So 28 hours ago. Just kind of using my phone, but yeah, we saw a pullback, which is here. I'm gonna make this one a little bit like yellow. So as you can see, we saw accumulation, distribution. Ryan Cohen 13D filing happened here, the first one and the second one, and then the third one hits with the Michael Burry post, and we saw pullback, and then that kind of lines up perfectly. Sorry. And now I was expecting this kind of pop, right? I was expecting, go up and pop. And I'm wondering if we are here or we are here. You know what I mean? Sorry, my voice. You know what I mean? The price is still, slightly below here, right? So, and this fractal is still, somewhere here. So I'm wondering if this is what happened, right? And we saw pullback and then go back up again by Wednesday, $25.50, right? And then go sideways. And then when the Monday comes, it just flow up. And also another GameStop option trader in living in US, he reached out to me, and then he kind of gave me some information about how what's going on in the US. And then he said there's a Super Bowl on Sunday, February Feb 8th, was it? Yeah, so he mentioned about that. So he thinks Roaring Kitty will come back on Sunday, somewhere there, possible. And then when people are kind of distracted, maybe he comes back or something. But I do see there's a pull, there's pop, right? So what will be the trigger, right? Another maybe bank collapse, who knows, right? How they run this market after hours run. But this pop will be the a final one before pullback, and we're gonna have a major rally, right? Pre-squeeze run up to $40, right? $40 level. And I want to talk about the since I talk about the level, I want to talk about this. The level that we hit after Michael Burry post is exactly when the White House GameStop posted, right? So I want to talk about that. So this is like we are kind of hitting that resistance level, right? So we hit that, come down, we try to retest that level again, right? Which is what they did, right? So Michael Burry post, boom, come back, pull back, and we saw another pop as a bank collapse, and then retest that level here, right? You're trying to retest the level, and once we break that retest level, we have a next level is the price at the $28 at 20 cents at before the warrant were issued, and that's somewhere in $28 marks. And I think this time, rather than we hitting about $30, which I kind of primarily saw, we might hit the $30 this time. But I think we're gonna. Yeah, but based on the fractal, based on the size of this, it's gonna be slightly smaller, just slightly. So we're gonna hit about $28 level, $28 30 cents or 50. Which is the price at warrants were issued, right? So once we retest that, we're gonna see a similar pullback, like Michael Burry post, right? So we hit that level, pullback, but this pullback this time will be a little bit longer. So just watch out the option traders. Just to careful when to take profits and when to, what I mean. And then when the April comes, right? When the March comes, I think people talks about the March 10 is the T plus 35 from 13D. I think that's the bottom. Based on the speed. I'm not saying that this is some sort of the formula or this is the answer. I'm not saying that, but I'm just kind of based on how the fractal moves. How the fractal has been moved throughout the accumulation, as you see here, the yellow chart. I'm just based on that. The speed might change. It could be slower. It could be faster, and I'll be adjusting that every single day. Okay. But based on the speed, we're gonna hit that pullback after this short-term rally. And then from the March 10th, 30 plus 35, we're gonna have a first pop, right? We're gonna have a first dump, come down, second dump, come down, third dump, come down. The rally will kicks in with the FOMC meeting. I think this is March 18, apparently. So something will happen by March 18 FOMC meeting, and I don't know what will be the trigger. Maybe power resign, and maybe new guy came in. I don't know. New guy comes in, and that kick off the run through the March OPEX. March OPEX is somewhere here, and earning is about here. So GameStop earning, maybe something happened. Yeah, to run the thing, and then and then the guy I talked to, a few days ago, he's an option trader. He's also very sensitive to some of the events and what's going on. He's very keen on what's going on with GME and then also the markets. He thinks that there will be some sort of another dilution will happen, right? So, and then I could see there's a sharper pullback, about up to 25% pullback after major rally, and it makes sense. It cannot just go straight up. It always have to make a huge volatility. So so when you see that, expect a major pullback. But I'm wondering if that's because of the acquisition. I think there's a possibility. Usually the acquiring company, when they acquire stock or a company, they got hit first, right? The buyer will hit first in a short term wise, but long term wise the price will go up, right? So I'm wondering if this is gonna be the events of the another dilutions, or possible of acquisitions, right? And then maybe both, maybe it's both, maybe some private offering or dilutions, or maybe acquisitions, right? And then drop, right? And that will be, I think, maybe BBY, right? BBYQ, because a lot of people has been kind of waiting for 3 years, and it's time, right? And then we saw a lot of evidence that GameStop will M&A with BBYQ because Ryan Cohen won bye baby. And then we're gonna see a squeeze kickoff. And the interesting thing is the 2021, we never break, or we never retest that 2021 January squeeze top. Okay, we never done that before, but this time it's gonna happen. Okay, it's gonna retest this level. As you can see, it's gonna retest this level, 125. Okay, how much is it exactly? 120, 126. So we're gonna retest that level. We're gonna come back, right? Like how right now what's going on with with this level. White House tweet happened and pop happened, right? And that was at 25 or 24, $25 or 24, yeah, $25. And that's exactly what happened. Once Michael Burry final post happened, we hit that level, we came down, right? And retest again, that's what we're gonna do. Basically you just have to apply that, right? So once we hit that resistance level 125, we're gonna have a pullback, same thing, and then we're gonna go up to retest again, and we're gonna gap up, and then go up to over 200. So once that happens, I think that will be the top for the first squeeze, and then by then we're gonna find out which bank will collapse. Because right now we just saw a tiny run, and fucking small bank collapse. Okay, it's I don't know. Yeah, and when I saw that, it really reminds me of this StarCraft trailer.
Shall be mine.
It's like basically like this. Basically it's just collapse. But this is what we saw is a small one. We have to see the major one, and once GameStop break, the all-time high, and BBYQ come back, AMC squeeze, all that kind of crazy stuff. Yeah, things. I won't be surprised. Like the major bank will collapse. I think. it could be a Deutsche Bank. I know Deutsche Bank. I think is one of the sketchiest bank. In the Germany. I can talk about AMC later, but yeah, I think AMC is here somewhere, somewhat like that maybe, because I thought it was like here, right? Because we saw a pop. I was like, okay, that's good confirmation that I've been waiting for, and suddenly it has another all-time low. I'm like, okay, come on, guys, and then maybe that's kind of what they're doing. So if that's what they're doing, yeah, we have to see some sort of a pop, and I think this pop, it looks like it comes in a Feb 9th, next week, not this coming week. So if we see this pop, this pop is about sorry 20%. Oh fuck, sorry. Morning is tough, especially when I talk in the morning. Oh fuck, man. Sorry. Okay, so that's about 20% when I apply to GME. So I'm expecting here, this area. This is about maybe 13%. Yeah, I'm not sure it's gonna hit 30. Okay, but somewhere there. Okay, so let's kind of check with RSI and MACD. Okay, and let's go to the 2024 again. All right, we are here. We went through accumulation phase. And started breaking out. We saw RC13D filing. Second, we saw another one, Michael Burry post, which kind of hit all the three points that I was kind of expected. We saw a pullback. Same thing. Now we saw a pop, but this pop is a lot faster than I expected. So I have to check the RSI to kind of see where it is at, because it seems like I haven't really figure out if this is gonna be like this or it's gonna be like this, but maybe it's like this one. Oops, my alarm. 1 second. Yeah, so I check RSI, and it looks like, yeah, I'm gonna check 4 hours. So I'm trying. The reason I use 4 hours is because of MACD. Because when I saw MACD, MACD level, stay somewhat similar area, and also the line. If I let's say do 2 hours, MACD line just go all the way down. MACD line still stay above here in this 45 minutes. So I try to match that, right? And I know, and also I'm aware that the algo speed is a lot slower back than 2024 April. So that's why I try to find that kind of the time frame to match this one. So based on this, we saw this one, and then we saw pullback. This thing hasn't really touched the when I do close up here, this thing hasn't really touched the line here yet. Okay, and then when I kind of zoom in and then see where it is at, so let's say I go there and then the line hasn't touched, let's say somewhere here. So if this is correct, okay, if this was correct, what that means is that they haven't. We are somewhere we are somewhere here. So what that means is that I think they ran faster or something. Okay, that's kind of what I can speculate. Okay, like I'm not saying this is correct. I'm not saying, but it just to me, right? Just to me, we are tracking same fractal. Okay, this is a squeeze pattern, and then some people say, "How the fuck you know, right?" I know because that's what they're doing. Okay, and I've been talking about this for a while. There's a squeeze pattern in GameStop. Okay, there's a squeeze pattern. If I bring this chart, copy this, and then if I bring it over to 2021, it will match. Okay, there in my opinion there's a squeeze pattern here. Okay, look at this. There's a squeeze pattern, right? There's accumulation, which is a little bit longer for this accumulation, and there's a I don't know what I should call this one, but yeah, there's a small bump before pre-squeeze rally, and then squeeze. Okay, there is a pattern. Okay, and because I understand that there is a squeeze pattern here that they're drawing out, I mentioned that there's gonna be some sort of a filing drop. Ownership filing. I mentioned it's gonna be either Roaring Kitty or it's gonna be Michael Burry, but Ryan Cohen kick off, right? So Ryan Cohen started. But anyway, there's an ownership filing. And you know why I mentioned? Why I said there's gonna be ownership filing? Because when you go back to 2020, based on the fractal, Ryan Cohen purchased 2.5 million shares in this phase. We are in the A phase right now. We are in the A rally, small rally phase before they pull back. So that's why I mentioned about that. It's not like, they already set up a pattern here. Okay, they already set it up all the pattern that and then they're using exactly the same pattern. Maybe the market makers, they're ready for it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's some sort of a cycle here, right? So so if I bring this, right now I'm using 2024 chart because it's much more clear. But if I use this 2021 chart, it's gonna somehow match the same, right? We're gonna go up, right? And this is the area when Ryan Cohen bought 2.5 million shares. We saw same thing. Ryan Cohen pushed the stock with the 13D filings, right? So it's the same exact spot where they need to do that. Okay. Are we gonna run like a 2021? I think. Oh, maybe. Oh, maybe. Oh yeah. Wait. Yeah, maybe they wanna run like, yeah, but it's gonna be same thing. Yeah, what I'm trying to say is like this is 2024. This is 2021. So it looks like they want to run like this because it's sped up, right? But either way, you see what I mean, right? We're gonna hit this level and we're gonna have a pullback. It's the same pattern. No matter whether you use 2024, whether you use 2021, it doesn't matter. There's a squeeze pattern here. This is a pre-squeeze zone, and this is a pre-squeeze rally, the major one. And then squeeze, boom, right? But my opinion, based on based on my views with the research I've done and then with the fractal I've been tracking, my view was always the same. The return of Roaring Kitty back in 2024 was the purpose of recreating the fractal, like readjusting. I'm not recreating, but like he's basically bringing he's basically drew the fractal, right, more clearly, because 2021 fractal is a little bit rough, as you can see. It's a little bit rusty, okay? But he made the chart a little bit more clearly, and we are going through that exactly same pattern, right? That's kind of what I believe, right? And whether and then he basically dropped the gift box, and maybe it is some sort of a, hey, this is a footprint, you guys will follow. And that's what I said. When you read a success book, like success stories, right? Whether you do business, whether you do a career that you like, either way, there's a saying that when you follow a successful person, right? When you let's say you want to be, like, let's say, successful in some sort of in career or a business or something you want to build, like, you just have to kind of follow that kind of successful path, and it's gonna give you much, like, higher probability. Basically, it doesn't mean that you're gonna be successful in that path, but basically you know that secret, right? You know that kind of you're gonna have a much more higher probability, right? So let's say, like, you need to work harder or have much more discipline. You don't go to fucking parties every day. You know what I mean? Like, you just kind of have a much more higher probability. So that's what I'm saying. Like, for me, I think the way that the Roaring Kitty kind of made this fractal, this thing is just kind of like, I think it is like, I don't know, based on what I'm seeing, we have this kind of high probability that this is what they're drawing. And so let's see, if we're gonna move like 2021, 2024, but either way, I think we have a similar pattern happening here. And and how Roaring Kitty kind of made this chart, in my opinion, is because, hey, if you want to be successful, just follow this path, right? If you want to be successful, you follow the successful people. If you want to be successful with Gamestop, follow this chart, right? So he dropped that, and if you believe in it, if you understand fractal, if you want to, right, do TA, and I don't think this is a typical stock, right? It is a stock that has manipulated, but also that Wall Street, we understand this is manipulated. We understand that there's a cycle. We understand there's a swap cycle. We understand, there's a major banks, hedge funds connected, market makers. But somehow they create this kind of fractals, some sort of a cycles, and Ryan Cohen understand it. Now Burry already knew it. Burry understood it, so he joined the cycle now, because he got out too early back in 2020, right? He got out early before the squeeze. Now he knew, and he experienced it. He went through the cycle. He's here in this squeeze cycle. He wanna ride it with us, but not only just kind of, he's not saying like, oh, I'm waiting for that squeeze. He didn't say that in the post, but he believed in that kind of, hey, we're using that kind of logical, not logical, sorry. I mean, it is logical, but yeah, using that kind of fundamentals, right? Hey, it's gonna be $100 billion company, right? And RC mentioned that, using that kind of the statement, he kind of, he also have that kind of believe in it, but at the same time, they understand we're in the squeeze cycle, right? So everything kind of lines up, right? And Roaring Kitty drew that much more detailed fractal for us, and I don't know how many people out there that kind of feels like the way that feels like this, but I felt that he left something for us. He didn't just take profits. In my opinion, he's not a just in individual investors. He is the part of the team, right? He might be. I'm just saying. I'm not saying this is real. I'm not. I have no idea what they're doing, but based on my opinion, I think Roaring Kitty was involved in the beginning. He act like the retail investors, but he is not. Maybe he's part of the team. That's just my speculation, right? But if not, yeah, I'm wrong. I'm just maybe a conspiracy theory guy. But if that's the truth, he made a gamma squeeze with three other other investors' money, create a fractal, left the footprints for us. We just have to follow the footsteps. That's it, and that's what I'm doing. So if you want to be successful at this kind of option trading, just follow Roaring Kitty's path. I think that's all. And once this thing hits by the price hit $200, maybe even higher, based on 2021 Gen fractal, you have to by the time whatever you have money, you gotta be millionaire, right? You have to, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how much you have to put a money in there for options to kind of explode. But also, I think, yeah, it has to print, right? So that's also what I'm trying to do, right? I'm also with you guys that, hey, I'm following this every day, adjusting fractals, based on the price, price movement, the speed, yeah, and we are here, So, and Roaring Kitty mentioned about Rico. Yeah, I think if it is early, and if that's the truth, maybe the Rico hits in May, right? If this dragged out, I'm also looking at this even possibility of a July 14, 714, right? Teddy's number. Ryan Quinn mentioned about 714 a lot too. So I'm also looking up, at that possibility of the 741, 714, right? July 14. I'm not saying that it's gonna happen like that, but if dragged out and if that's what they want to do, and July 14 is a Tuesday, right? Too. That's very interesting. But anyway, so I just want to let you know that we're gonna. There's a lot of hype going on, but I'm also just want to warn option traders, right? Option players. Just know when to take profits. Let's say if you go up here, you don't take profits, and once you your options just go down minus 15% with a theta decay, about a 1 month of a dragging out, your option will get destroyed like crazy. Like I don't know. Depends on what price you have, but strike price you have, the strike the expiration date. But also in reverse, right? If you like swing trade, take profits here once we hit that kind of orange issue level by second week of February, right? Before Feb OPEX, go sideways a little bit, of course. Of course, there's gonna be volatility, sideways, and we're gonna drop by Feb OPEX. I think Feb OPEX is Feb 20, and then continue to drag out up to here, up to March 10, which is Ryan Coin T plus 13D, T plus 35 from 13D filing. First for 13D filing happened, and I think the reason I think he set it up in that way is because he want to kick off that the first dump, and that makes sense. We got the first the 13D file happened on this date on Jan 20 20, and T plus 35 hit March 10. We got second filing next day, and then that pushed this stock, right, which makes the first dump, right? So he kind of set it up, I think, in a way, right? So we could understand that. And then this thing will basically make the bottom, make a wedge, And then what will be the trigger? I don't know, but we're gonna have our FOMC meeting here, a lot of some major events, so we'll see. I think there might be some sort of another news after positive news and stuff like that, you know. And how are they gonna kick off this 100% rally? I have no idea. I don't know, but I don't know. And also there's a March earning, so they're gonna use that as a catalyst. So I don't know. Maybe merger, maybe acquisitions. I don't know. Like something will happen here. But like Larry Chang said, you know, there's gonna be a time where maybe bad news after bad news. No, he didn't say bad news. He said good news comes first. He said something like good news come first, and then yeah, he mentioned about something about good news will come out, you know, in the phase where like it'll come out, you know, like just like they're gonna dump all the good news, right? And the price will surge. And I think that's kind of where we at, right? We are seeing that kind of momentum going on, right? Momentum building up. RC13D twice, Michael Burry. We haven't seen his 13D filing yet, but he's saying he's accumulating GameStop shares. You know, so we haven't seen Roaring Kitty yet. Where's gonna Roaring Kitty will come out? Maybe here, right? So I'm seeing a possibility of maybe either here. Who's gonna run this pop? Who's gonna run this pop, right? So he's gonna come somewhere here. I don't know where. And who's gonna run this thing? I think maybe this squeeze will be because of BBYQ. So I don't really worry about this one, but I'm wondering about this part, right? Who, you know, when he's gonna come back? We don't know. Nobody knows. But it's just part of the speculation, right? This rally will come with the March earning, right? That's kind of maybe, right? March OPEX here. Yeah, March OPEX is actually here. So they're gonna run after March OPEX actually. Yeah, it's the same thing how they run the Gen OPEX after Gen OPEX, right? So they're gonna run after Gen OPEX. March OPEX. Yeah, everything will be run after OPEX week because it's gonna be much bigger. So something happened here. Maybe this is the earning. Yeah, here is the earning. But before earning, what's gonna drive this? We're gonna find out. Maybe Kitty. I don't know. Maybe Kitty, right? And pullback, earning, go up. And what will cause this? I don't know. Maybe it's a gamma squeeze. Yeah. So yeah, for now, that's all I can say. I don't want to go too crazy. I don't want to drive you nuts. There's too much information going on sometimes, right? So, you know, if there's too much, people can take it. People will be like, oh, this is too much. I don't understand what the fuck you're saying. So I'm gonna stop right there. Let's check. So we saw MACD here. So, you know, MACD with 4 hours. This hasn't crossed the line yet. But when I look at the one before here as well, it's here, April 25th, 1:45 p.m. So if I match that, and just like walking here, so it might be somewhere here. So we're gonna see one more pop next Monday, and if this is correct, and we're gonna see a interview with Charles Payne, Ryan Cohen, the Monday interview, and there's a reason why Ryan Cohen set it up interview, right? So he's gonna push this up the stock a little bit higher, and then pull some slight pullback adjustment here and there. So that's, I think, what we're gonna see. And then we're gonna see another. I think this is more like small mini gamma squeeze. So I don't know if we actually need a trigger for this one. I think this could rally just with this could go up naturally because of the gamma squeeze. Because right now the max pain is $21. So 22 bucks. I thought $21. So $22. So if we pass 25, $3 above. It has to be $3 above if you want gamma squeeze. So we finish at 24.80. So yeah, it's very close to 25, right? 24. So it hasn't passed the gamma squeeze level, but if we pass 25 now, there's gonna be a gamma squeeze. So that's what I think that's what it caused. So I don't know if we need a catalyst, to push this up. But yeah, if it happens, it happens. But if Roaring Kitty comes back, he'll come back. But yeah, the max pain is $22. So by the time we get here, 25, that's already the gamma squeeze level, right? 25, $3 above from max pain, right? And then there's gamma squeeze, mini gamma squeeze, and it's gonna come down, right? After that. So that's kind of what I'm expecting right now. Let's take a look at RSI one more time, and then I'm gonna finish this show. So we went through here, accumulation, same accumulation here happened here. How come this box is red? I'll change to blue. So matching this one, accumulation phase. This is accumulation, and this is accumulation. Right? Matches, right? You see? Oh shit. Hit here, here, pull back, and now boom, right? So we are somewhere here. We saw pullback there, we saw pullback there, exactly same, right? I'm gonna draw this guy. I'm gonna take this guy out, drop the arrow here to match this one. I don't know what this line is. Get this guy out, so now you see what I mean, right? So we know where we at. Drop another box for this one up to here. Probably change to green. Yep, maybe green. There you go. So that's kind of where we at. That's what they're drawing up to here. I'll get rid of this red box here. Yeah, you know what, there's so many stuff like going on. I'm gonna delete some of these arrows, just clean this up. All right, so yeah, so now we are here. So we saw this up, 1 2 3 1 2 3, pull back one. I think this was one. The first filing was one. So 1 2, we saw second pop with a second filing. 3 microbrewery post that kind of completed the first, second, third here as well. We saw a drop after microbrewery post. We saw a drop, so we're following that path, in my opinion. We saw a push up on Friday, which is very rare. Normally the stock tank on Friday because of the option expiration day, but they kind of did it a little one day earlier. So they did a pullback on Thursday, and they pushed the stock on Friday, and and Monday, and then after hours, the bank collapsed, and I think that it's somehow connect to GameStop, and then maybe they got margin call, and they forcefully buy the shares back in the market, maybe after hours. Anyway, so it pushed the stock up, as I was also expecting to push the stock up by Monday, but it happened just earlier due to the bank collapse. And now the RSI level is about 67 points, almost close to 68 points. When I go there to find out 68 points, and 60 between 67 to 8 is somewhere here, which means that we already, based on our side, we already topped off. So the basically the algo run a little bit faster. So we might go a little bit slightly higher, but I think we were just kind of there and then go sideways for a bit. I think for next week, until we hit Friday and Monday next week, week after. I'm saying about the second week of February. By Feb 9th, we're gonna hit that real fast. Retest the $28.30 warrant issue level, and we're gonna have another drop like that. So that's kind of what I'm tracking right now. And I just want to warn one more time before I end the stream. Just be careful if you're option trader. Watch out this pullback. If you don't believe this pullback, you do whatever you want. I'm gonna do whatever I do with my money. But I just want to throw it out there. Just be careful. That's it. That's pretty much it, guys. Let's see if there's anyone talking about anyone dropping anything. Okay, cool. I think I might have to open this chat earlier, but because I can't really see anything because I forgot to open the chat. But I just hope that everything makes sense to you. Have a wonderful weekend, and we're gonna have a fun ride till next second week of Feb, and the March will be slightly boring. February, March, it will be a little bit boring, but let's see. You never know. But that's pretty much for today, and I'll see you guys in next update, and have a good day. Bye bye.